Hi, we're happy to be here and hope that you will join us. This is going to be a different show today, and I am so excited because we're waiting for all the young children to come to see a ventriloquist, Dana Perkins, Mr. Tricks, and it's the first live show for me in our new studio, and I really am all excited. I didn't sleep all night waiting for those kids to come, and I know they'll love it. They won't be able to say the word ventriloquist, I know, but they'll enjoy it. And I would like to introduce, Dana has been here before, about 4 years ago, and it's a pleasure to have him back again. And Dana Perkins, and tell us, how did you get started?
I actually got started back when I was in grade school. A magician came to our school, and I was just so excited to see the magic tricks and things, and so that's what really got me started. So I started doing tricks for show and tell at school and little quick tricks, and then as I got older, the interest stayed, and I actually did my first show in 7th grade. And
Did you practice a lot?
oh yeah, I practiced a lot and kind of drove my family nuts because I was always showing them a trick. And when I was young, when I saw that I actually fooled them, then I'd tell them how the trick was done. When I had a hard time not doing that, you know, you're not supposed to reveal your secrets, you know. But when I was little, I didn't know any different. And so that's how I got started, and I've been doing it, you know, right along. So.
I would like to know your secrets, but I wouldn't be able to do it.
No, and I don't tell them now. And all I can say is that what the audience thinks I'm doing is very different from what I'm actually doing. And it's all part of theater. You know, you're there to tell a story, you're there to create the effect. And so I have a lot of fun doing it, just as I enjoyed watching it when I was a kid. So.
I know kids enjoy that.
Yeah.
They do.
And I was always watching the magicians on TV and the ventriloquists and, of course, the Muppets growing up. Sherry Lewis.
Do you remember Charlie McCarthy?
Charlie McCarthy, yep, that's way back.
Way back.
Yeah, more for me it was Kukla, Fran and Ollie.
Yeah.
Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop. On the Ed Sullivan Show, they had Topo Gigio, the little Italian mouse, and of course the Muppets were just starting back then. And whenever I heard there was going to be a magician on, or puppets, I'd always watch. And my parents would let me stay up, you know, and watch if it was on at late night. So.
By watching them, did you learn anything?
Not how they did it.
No.
I learned about presentation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you make it entertaining? How do you make it funny? And I actually got started from library books. And what was interesting with that is when we were living, it was actually in Damascotta, the library had one book on magic tricks. And I think I was the only kid that ever checked it out. And then later on, my parents would take me to different libraries, and they'd leave me for 2 or 3 hours. And I couldn't take the books out, but I'd sit there with a notebook and read the books, you know, and take notes. And the librarians thought it was great because, you know, this is one little boy. They didn't have to worry about getting into trouble. So.
And would appreciate those books.
Sure, sure.
Well, you had to really like doing it.
Oh, I loved it.
Because it takes time and practice, I'm sure. Do you make up your own show, your own vocabulary, your own?
The stories and things, they're actually surprisingly, if you know where to look, you can go on the internet now. There are a lot of books of dialogues and stories. I usually modify them to fit what I do. You have to pick out tricks and stories that happen to work for you. And sometimes I try stuff and, you know, the kids don't laugh, they don't enjoy the joke. Maybe the trick doesn't fool them or they don't care. So then I have to weed those ones out, you know, and just stay with the ones that are the most popular. And so it's a constantly changing thing. And so it's interesting, you know, you have to try them sometime, you know, and see what happens. And what works for me might not work for somebody else.
Well, you still have to try it.
Sure, you have to try it.
You have to be alert.
Yep.
That's a lot to do at once.
You always have to be on your toes, and especially during a show, anything can happen. And sometimes, like a boy will be holding a balloon that he got at the fair, and the balloon will pop right in the middle of the show. And so my puppet will say, "Oh, did you see that? That kid just exploded. He ate too many French fries, or something." So we react to
cute.
stuff. We react to stuff. Or one time I did a show. It was outdoors and it was raining, and they built a canopy over the stage. And all of a sudden, the canopy filled with water, and it collapsed, and it came down and almost got me. And I was right at the end of the show. And so the puppet looks up at the canopy sagging over my head, and he said, "Wow, Dana, you really brought down the house this time."
Isn't that
So
cute?
that's why I like
good.
the puppets, because they can react to things spontaneously. So it's been a lot of fun doing that. So.
And how many puppets do you have?
Well, with the show that I'm doing for the children today, I'll be using at least 4. So you want me to introduce them for you real quick?
Please do.
Okay. The white one over there, that's Larry Bird. And of course, the adults get that joke, Larry Bird. We've got Daisy, and I've only had her for a week. Yeah. And she's a replacement for another puppet I had named Daisy, who finally wore her out after 30 years of doing shows. Hundreds of shows. They just couldn't fix her anymore. So this is the new Daisy.
She's beautiful.
Yeah,
Look at those eyes.
And funny, yeah, she's all dressed up for the agricultural fairs with the Oshkosh dress. And we got Pee-wee, he's the tall one back there, and he's the big finish. So, and I've got some other puppets that I use for walk around performing or strolling. I've got a dragon that I use to teach children about overcoming fears. I've got a chicken. I've got some smaller puppets that I use for stuff like that. So I've got quite a family of puppets. So.
Good for you. That's interesting. And where do you go? Where does this young man go?
Okay, this gentleman, let me bring him out. This is one that I saved for the nursing homes. This is Phineas Crabtree, and he's one of my latest additions. Yeah, hi there. Who's this young lady? This is ZAFFIE. Anyway, this is Phineas Crabtree. Yeah, good to see you. And I use him for nursing homes and the agricultural fairs. He's dressed up like a farmer. And you're kind of getting older there, aren't you?
How old are you, Phineas? How old are you, Phineas?
Oh, I don't know. I can't keep track. What do they call it, Phineas, when you get older like that? They call it the golden years? No, I call it the metal years. The metal years? Why do you call it the metal years? Because I got silver in my hair and gold in my teeth and lead in my pants. Oh,
That's
man.
cute.
So you like doing the nursing homes? Yeah, when I get done, there's not a dry seat left in the house. Oh, stop it. Anyway, so this is Phineas Crabtree, and he's my latest addition. So he's a big hit with the nursing homes, the older group. He does jokes about getting older and stuff. And so I do kind of tailor the show a little bit differently for different audiences.
Looking at him, and you almost think in your mind he's real.
Yeah. And
they get real.
And it's a compliment to me when I get done with a character during a show, and when I go to put them away, sometimes the audience will go, "Oh," because they don't want to see the puppet get put away. They see it as a real character. So, so I have fun doing it. So
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun for the children too. I'm excited.
Yeah.
How many years have you been doing this?
I did a count. I started, I don't want to say how old I am, but I've been doing this for a while. I did my very first show in 7th grade. So it's been about 40 years that I've been doing shows and never lost interest in it. And I always stay, and sometimes I meet some kids that I went to high school with, and they can't believe I'm still doing the puppets and tricks and things like I did back then. So just never gave it up. So I figure another 10 years, maybe 15, I'll keep at it. So.
Well, I know you've done other things, though. You worked at the newspaper.
Yeah, I worked for the newspaper for 5 years. Most of my work history has been commercial art, graphic design, printing, that kind of thing. And, now I do stuff on the internet. And so,
That's a talent.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. And, that's the bread and butter stuff, but it's fun because on the weekends, I do this, and so it's a real good second job, and I have fun doing it. Get to travel all over New England. Been to some other countries with it, using interpreters.
Wonderful.
And it's been a lot of fun. So Central America, Russia several times. And in Russia, they have a big culture for puppets over there. in theater and the arts, which I wasn't aware of. So they love the puppets. And they're used to the puppets with the theater, but to see the ventriloquism, that's a real novelty for them. So.
Now, do you take your puppets with you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
That
take
must-
some of them, the ones that'll get through an X-ray machine, you know, the airport security.
That must be an effort, though.
Yeah, it is.
And when you're on the plane or a boat or whatever.
Yeah, on the plane, and so I take the soft puppets like Larry Bird, or I could take Pee-wee or something, but not a mechanical puppet because I'd have to take it all apart, you know, and I'm not going to do that. And the visual tricks, I'll do magic tricks, I'll do juggling, because those are okay. So.
Now, the children in Russia,
Yeah.
did they sort of understand?
Well, what I would do there is more visual magic tricks, make things appear, disappear, change color. With the puppets, I keep that kind of short, and we always had an interpreter, and I would always have the same interpreter. So by the time I got, after my first trip, she knew my jokes better than I did, and she knew how to do the punchlines so the Russian children would understand them and laugh. So we'd go around together. And it worked out pretty good. It was a little rough at first, but...
That's great. Whatever made you decide to go to Russia?
That was with part of a church group, was what those trips were about. We went over to help with construction or teaching or whatever, and my part of it was just to make children laugh. And they'd take me to the orphanages, and they'd take me to the schools. And that was my job, is to make children laugh and make Russian security people laugh. So some places, you know, they weren't sure if they should let us get into or whatever. So, oh, Dana, do a trick. You know, Dana, get out a puppet. We get them laughing, you know, and then things would be fine. So.
Well, that's nothing like laughter.
Right. Yeah. And people, you know, no matter where you go, they just want to be loved and respected. They want to laugh. And that's my job, making people laugh. So, and it's a good job to have.
It is. I couldn't do that. No way. Imagine. Well, you have to take them with you, so.
Yeah, yeah.
And where else did you say you've been?
Well, Central America, that was Belize in Central America. That was my first overseas trip. And what was interesting there, the tricks went over well, the puppets were fine, but I couldn't make balloon animals down there because of the humidity. Oh. And the balloons kept popping.
Oh.
And I asked them, have you ever seen balloon animals? And they said no. And I tried to make them, and they kept popping because of the humidity. And I said, well, now I know why you've never seen balloon animals. So I gave up on that, but, you know, did other things.
Were you nervous when you thought of going places and
Well, you know, you never know how it's going to go over. And the big thing is you have to really think ahead, because a lot of the American jokes are based on puns or figures of speech, which aren't going to mean anything in another language. Mm-hmm. And so you have to eliminate a lot of those jokes, and you have to look for what's common in the culture. And children have trouble at school no matter where you go. So you can do school jokes. You can do jokes about marriage. You can do jokes about getting older, because those are things that are common no matter where you go. And things that are particular to a specific culture, you can't leave out because they may not understand what a McDonald's restaurant is in some of these places, and they may not understand certain food things that you might make jokes about. So you have to be careful and really think of it. And even then, no matter how hard you try, you find out when you get there what's not going to work. So you have to adapt. But so.
Well, you learn.
Yeah.
You
yes,
learn.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that, you know, boys and girls, they always want to know how the tricks are done, or they want to check out the puppets and things. And if it's not too big a crowd, I let them do that, you know. But what's interesting is my two children have never had any interest in it.
Imagine.
No.
And they're grown up now.
They're all grown up, and when they were little, I'd say, do you want me to teach you how to do a trick? No, no. Don't you want to know how the trick's done? No. They'd come to the shows, they'd have a good time, but they didn't want to know anything about it. I said, do you want to play with a puppet? No, no, you know. But they were always proud of their dad. You know, what does your dad do? And it was never the printing or the graphic designer. Oh, he's a ventriloquist and magician. They thought that was great, you know, but didn't want to do it themselves. So.
That's something. What are they doing?
Well, they're all grown up now, and 28 and 30, and one of them works for an industrial construction company building big mining equipment, stuff for Boeing aircraft, things for the military. The other son, he works in Hollywood, working with the big boys on the big movies, and he worked on Spider-Man, helped develop Spider-Man's web fluid. He adds the 3D effect. He layers together the computer-generated stuff for the live action. He's worked on Spider-Man and Alice in Wonderland with Johnny Depp and Kung Fu Panda and some of the other, you know. And
He must be talented too.
yeah, they both went to art school, even the engineering one. Half of his classes were art because he wants to get into product design. And what's interesting with the two boys is they both knew in like 5th grade what they wanted to be.
Isn't that's wonderful?
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure it out at my age, what I want to do, you know.
And at my age, my life's changed altogether.
Right.
I never thought I'd be doing any of the things I do.
But they knew in 5th grade, and at that time I had a print shop. And, you know, our youngest son, I want to be an inventor. So I made a little business card for him. And the other one said, I want to make movies, Disney movies. I said, okay, made him a little business card. And they stayed with it. They stayed with it.
So he went to Hollywood then and got
Yes.
a job.
Yep, that's where he is. He started out at Syracuse, the one that went in the movies. And then he worked in an ice cream freezer for 3 years, saving up his money. And he went to a school to learn the computer animation and special effects out in Hollywood. And the school he went to, the instructors are animators by day, and they teach the classes at the school so they can keep track of the talent, you know, what's coming up, make sure they're teaching them the latest. And it was a crash course. I think it was 18 months. It was a year and a half anyway. And, you know, he had all these job offers waiting. So, yeah, he lives out there. And what a lot of people don't know is they have studios all over the world. So he gets to work in some of these different studios, depending on the movie and which company he's working for.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine. That's
So-
good.
So, you know, they both, you know, turned out great. They're both creative in their own way, you know, but they still love, you know, their dad who talks to puppets. My wife, she does creative stuff too, you know, with
So
signs and
they
truck
get it
lettering.
from
and things. Yeah,
both sides.
yeah, both sides, yeah. Actually, my wife and I met at art school when I was going to art school, and that's where we met. So, yeah, we got a lot of creative genetic material between all of us, so.
My father was very creative. He was a painter. Anything he did, he was special. He was cooking, his candy making. He was just talented, and I had one brother,
Yep.
but that brother's passed. He was out in Utica for a while, and he designed dresses.
Yep.
And when they had his funeral, everybody that had bought a dress from him wore.
Yep.
They're gifted. Yeah, not me. I'm a good cleaner-upper. I think that's great.
Yeah, and that's something I usually try to stress with a show. I'm not going to do it on today's show. Today's just for laughs for the kids. But usually when I do a show at a fair or festival, you know, I always stress to the kids, we're all talented in different ways. We're all different. With me, it's puppets and tricks. With somebody else, it's music. With somebody else, it's sewing. With somebody else, it's baking. And whatever talent we have, that's something we should really develop so we can become an active part of the community and benefit other people as well as ourselves. So,
Yeah, gifted.
yes. Yeah.
That's great.
So I'm looking forward to doing the show for the boys and girls, you know.
Oh,
and,
I'm so excited.
And, you know, hope we have a good time with them. I'm sure we will. And they get to meet all my puppet friends, you know. They won't see them when we do the show. We'll have them all put away and everything so we can surprise the kids. So it'll be fun.
And that'll be fun for us, too. The first time for me to have a live audience.
Yep.
I never thought that would happen. I never thought a lot of things would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Great.
The kids are wonderful. When they come in, they'll look at you like you're Santa Claus. Their eyes will glisten.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be a treat for them, you know, seeing the TV studio and everything, and it is a great facility they've got here. So, because I remember working with you, you know, 4 years ago, and this is just a much better arrangement.
It's wonderful.
Yep.
And everybody that works here is wonderful too.
Yes, yeah.
They're so easy.
Thanks for making me a part of it. You know, it's just great to be here again. So.
Well, it took us a while to get together, though, between moving and other things, but we did it.
Yep.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Great. Well, thank you.
And I'm excited for the kids. I know they're going to love it.
Hi, boys and girls. I'm Mr. Triggs. Some people know me as Dana Perkins, and it's good to be here with you today. We're going to have a fun time. I do all kinds of puppets. I got them in the boxes around me, some mind-boggling magic tricks. And the word ventriloquist, like she said, that's a really big word, and it means a belly speaker. Isn't that strange? Okay? And what we do is we tighten up our tummy muscles, and we talk differently for the puppet, and I'll be explaining a little bit more about that during the show. But because some of you are younger and you don't know about that big word ventriloquist, let me take just a few minutes to explain some things I am not going to do. Now, I love doing shows for boys and girls because I first got interested in magic and puppets way back when I was in 3rd grade. And I've been doing shows now for more than 40 years. And, oh no, now every time I do a show, I find another one of these, another gray hair. Yeah, every time I do a show, I find another gray hair. Well, anyway, sometimes people think that I'm going to be a clown. Now, clowns wear hats that look like this. They usually have on a big red nose, clown makeup, and a clown suit. This is not a clown suit because I'm not a clown. This is called a tuxedo. Okay, a tuxedo, a really fancy suit. So if you're expecting me to be a clown, you'd be a little disappointed. Sometimes when boys and girls hear there's going to be a special program for children, they think Santa Claus is going to show up. Okay, Santa Claus is a big fat guy with a red suit, white fur trim, and he gives away free toys to all the boys and girls. I'm not Santa Claus, okay? So if you're expecting Santa Claus, you'll be disappointed. Now, sometimes when the boys and girls hear I'm going to be doing magic tricks, they think of Harry Potter. How many of you have heard of Harry Potter? Seen the movies, read the books? Okay, hands down, I'm not Harry Potter. I'm not a wizard. Wizards wear hats that look like this. Sometimes it's got the moon or a star or nothing on it. Usually they're black and pointed, okay? But I'm not a wizard. I'm what's called a stage magician, okay? Now, when I was in high school, I used to practice sawing a lady in two. I'd practice on my sister. Now I have 2 half-sisters. So I don't do that trick anymore. So maybe you're expecting me to pull a rabbit out of a top hat, but I don't see any boys and girls wearing a top hat today. And I figure with my puppet friends, I don't need any live animals in the show. So if you're looking for a rabbit in a hat, this is as close as you're going to get. Okay? All right. Now that I've told you what I'm not going to do, we're going to go ahead and get started with the main part of the show. And I think I just messed up my hair because of my hat bag. So let me get my comb out of here, and let me comb my hair real quick. There we go. Such a big comb for such little hair. There, all right. There. Yeah, hi there. How you doing today, kids? This is my good friend Larry Bird. Yeah. Yes, the adults that are with us today know who Larry Bird was. And good to have you with us here, Larry. Look at all the boys and girls that turned out today. Yeah, look at them. Look at the character on those faces, huh? Look at the faces on those characters. No, come on. When I look at an audience like this, it's like looking at a beautiful flower garden. Oh, yeah? Well, I see a few weeds here and there. Now, come on, Larry. I want you to be on your best behavior. I don't want you to say or do anything to embarrass me in front of the audience. Then there's no show. Well, come on, Larry. Can I introduce you? I've already been introduced. We've already started the show. Please. Okay, Larry, go ahead. Introduce me to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Dana, the guy with great hidden talent. Thank you. Someday we'll find it, Larry. Come on. When you introduce a performer, you're supposed to use superlatives. What are those? Superlatives, kids, those are words like biggest, best, greatest, world famous. The idea is to build up the image of the performer in the minds of the audience. Now, when you introduce me, use the superlative. All right, okay, here we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Dana, the world's ugliest ventriloquist. Ugliest ventriloquist, yeah. That's a superlative, but not one I would have preferred. Ugliest, what makes you think I'm ugly anyway? That strange growth on your neck. What strange growth on my neck? Your head. Would you stop that? The last time I did a show, a beautiful young lady came up after the show and she said, Dana, that's me. She said, you have a very striking face. How many times was it struck, Larry? Come on. You've insulted me in front of the audience. You need to apologize. What? I try to set a good example for the boys and girls. Kids, if you say something to somebody, and even if you meant it as a joke, and they get upset, then you need to apologize. Now, you've insulted me in front of the audience. You need to say you're sorry. All right. Kids, I'm sorry. Thank you. That thing is so ugly. Stop it. Listen, we need to move along, okay? Because we have a lot more things to do for the boys and girls. And excuse me, Larry, what are you doing now? Are you on a diet? Am I on a diet? Yeah, nobody cares if I'm on a diet. I know a lady on a great diet. What does this woman eat that you think is such a great diet? Coconuts and bananas. Coconuts and bananas. All she eats is coconuts and bananas. That's right. Every single meal, coconuts and bananas. Yeah. Has she lost any weight? No. Then why does she eat just coconuts and bananas? Kids, you ought to see her climb trees. Never mind. What do you eat? Nobody cares what I eat. I'd like to know. Look, I want the boys and girls to know that I eat a well-balanced diet from all the major food groups. Yeah, right. Sugar, salt, fat, preservatives. No. I eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. Got a little bit of meat, but not too much. Yeah, drink plenty of milk, water, and fruit juice. There's some people who live near us. They have goats, and sometimes they give us goat's milk to drink. That's disgusting. Now, come on. People drink goat's milk all over the world. I have 2 ideas. What are your 2 ideas? You need to start your own garden. Plant my own garden? Sure. Grow my own food? Yeah, that's actually a very good idea, Larry. What's your other idea? You need to get your own goat. Keep a live goat? Yeah, just to get goat's milk? Sure. Where am I going to keep a live goat? In your bedroom. Keep a live goat in my bedroom? Yeah, I can't keep a live goat in my bedroom. Why not? What about the terrible, disgusting smell? Don't worry, the goat will get used to it. Never mind, Larry. Say goodbye to everybody. All right, so long. All right. Boy, that was just the first puppet friend. I keep my other puppet friends in the boxes around me, but I mentioned before that I first got interested in magic tricks a long time ago. I was in 3rd grade and a magician came to our school. And because of that, I decided I wanted to become a magician. I'll never forget the first trick I ever saw a magician do. He reached into his pocket and he took out his wallet. And he did a trick with something that we'd all like to have just a little bit more of. Any idea what it is? Money. That's right. And what he did was he opened his wallet and he, uh-oh, I guess my wife had some shopping to do. Wow. Because I thought, wouldn't it be great? You know, as a magician, they make things appear and disappear and change color and sometimes make things float through the air. I thought, wouldn't it be nice? As a magician, anytime I needed money, I could wave my hand or say a magic word or snap my fingers, and whenever I'd open my wallet, I'd have money anytime I needed it. Oh my goodness, look at that. Well, anyway, what the magician did was he took the money out of his wallet, and I'll never forget, he counted the money, and he had $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. And then what the magician did, this is way back when I was in 3rd grade, he had the $6, he took away $1, $2, $3, and when he counted the money again, he had $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. And I decided right there, I want to be a magician when I grow up. Because I got 2 boys of my own. They're all grown up now, but they used to be your age. And we had a little store at the end of our street. And just think, as a magician, if one of them came up, Dad, can I have $2 or $3 to go to the store, to get popsicles or a sandwich or something or whatever? Sure, son, I got $6 left, but I'll give you $1, $2, $3, and that's all right, because I'd still have $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. Wow. Any of the adults here, you know that if you've got more than one child, if you give $3 to one, then you've got to give $3 to each of the others. And I have 2 boys, so the second son would come up. Dad, you gave my brother $3. Can I have $3 too so I can go to the store? Sure, son. Tell you what, I got $6 left, but I'll give you $1, $2, $3, and that's all right, because as a magician, I'd still have $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. Now, sometimes my wife, she comes to me, dear, I need to get a gallon of milk, I need a loaf of bread, can I have $2 or $3 to go to the store? Well, as a magician, I'd be able to say, sure, honey, here you go, here's $1, here's $2, here's $3, and that's all right, because I'd still have $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. So anyway, that's the first magic trick I ever saw a magician do. It was way back when I was a little boy in 3rd grade. A magician took $6 out of his wallet, and he took away $1, $2, $3. And when he counted the money again, I couldn't believe it, kids. He had $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. Now, I've been doing magic shows for a long time, and to this day, I still don't know how he did that trick, but maybe I'll figure it out someday. There. There. All right. So I started getting interested in magic tricks and puppets, and we'll talk a little bit more about the puppets later. But I went to the library and I started checking out magic books to learn how to do tricks. And a lot of them are for children. They're written for children, and they show you how to do magic tricks with things you find around the house. Yeah. Things like this. Now, does anybody know what this is? A shoelace, a rope. Okay, if you're a little, a rope or wope, depending upon how old you are. To those of you who've never seen one before, it's 2 ends that have been tied together. Halfway down here is something called the middle. And you'll notice there are no mirrors, trapdoors, or hidden assistants anywhere in the rope. And when I do this trick, not once will my hands leave the ends of my arms. What we're going to do is something with a piece of rope that all of you know how to do with a piece of rope. And let's tie a simple overhand knot. But if you're a magician, you can take the ends off and put them in your pocket, which now leaves me with a piece of rope with no ends on it. Okay? Now, it's a little hard to do anything with a piece of rope without any ends, so we're going to take the ends and we're going to put them back on like this. There. Okay? Now, usually there's loud applause at that point in the trick. It's okay, I understand you're all overcome with astonishment. So don't sit there with your mouths open, a fly might go in. Anyway, we're going to tie the knot back in there like this, and this gives me a loop of rope. We're going to slide the loop through my left hand so the ends are at the bottom, the middle is up at the top like this, and then we're going to take, never mind, I'll use these, I just had them sharpened this morning. Cut the rope like that, and that gives me how many pieces of rope? 2. Okay, 2, it's not a trick question, all right? And if a magician takes a piece of rope and cuts it into 2 pieces, it's not going to be long before he's going to take the 2 pieces and put them back into 1 piece like that. Now, one person. Oh, thank you. There we go. Yeah. Say one person clapped, so I was glad for that. Okay, great. Want to make sure you're all awake here. All right. This is a live show, okay? Anyway. If you want to try this when you get home, take a piece of string or rope or ribbon or a shoelace, but you got to look carefully because sometimes they make it backwards at the factory. They put the ends on backwards, and if that's the case, then you need to know how to move the ends to the other ends like this. There. Now I've got another piece in my pocket. It's a little bit shorter, and I'm sure my pocket looks nice. Kind of a knot there. We'll undo that. Oh, a little bit too long. We'll shorten that a little bit. That gives me 3 pieces of rope that are all the same length. You can tell they're the same length because all the ends are even. It's not right. Those ends have to be even too. Okay, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take the pieces of rope, we're going to fold them in half like this, and that way all the ends will be even, so that will make them all the same length, right? Right? Not sure? Yes? No? We have some skeptics in the audience. Okay, I don't know if you guys are paying attention yet or not. Okay, there we go. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. All right. Now, it's one thing to make them change length while they're separate, but now I'm going to tie the ends together. That gives me fewer ends to do any funny business with. Okay? Here we go. Because it's one thing to make them change length while they're separate, but it's more difficult to make them change length while they're tied together. We're going to wave my hand over the rope, so I say the magic word, fuzzy pickles. No. When you say fuzzy pickles, you wind up with a short piece, a long piece, and a medium-sized piece right back where we started. There. See, you don't need video games to keep the children entertained, just 3 pieces of rope. There. Now, one time somebody asked me, how'd you get to be so good doing rope tricks? And the answer is I used to be in the Boy Scouts. My dad was the scoutmaster, so I had to pass all the scouting requirements at least 2 or 3 times to show the other Boy Scouts there was no favoritism. And one thing my dad, the scoutmaster, insisted every Boy Scout could do in his troop was know how to take a piece of rope and tie knots really, really fast. There. So then, as I was growing up, getting a little older, I started learning fancier tricks. And I noticed on the back of the library books they had names and addresses of magic shops. You send away and they send you a catalog, you get to pick out your tricks, but they don't tell you how to do them until you send in your money. So I started doing bigger tricks like this one. Now I know it's, you may think these are marshmallows, but they're cotton balls. My wife uses these to put her makeup on so she looks even more beautiful. And I just thought of something, our wedding anniversary's coming up. Yeah, wow, and all she wanted was a scarf for her anniversary. And I thought of that because she gave me the cotton balls, and sometimes they make scarves out of cotton. So instead of doing the trick I was going to do, let me just take a minute, come up with a scarf for my wife. And I think there's enough room in there. All right, we're going to put the cotton balls in. I'm not sure how many cotton balls it takes to make a scarf. If I don't put in enough, it'll be too small to cover her head. If I put in too many, it might be too big, but then I can cut it down. If I drop one on the floor or miss one, well, then I may end up with a scarf with a hole in it. So we're going to stuff in the cotton balls. We'll save this for another trick later. And we'll put the cover on. Some tricks work better in the dark. I wave my hand over the canister and I say the magic word, fuzzy pickles. You know what happens when you say fuzzy pickles to cotton balls? Absolutely nothing. Because fuzzy pickles isn't a real good magic word. Do any of the boys and girls here know any magic words? Just shout them out. Abracadabra. Any others? Okay. Maybe hocus pocus or alakazam. There's a whole bunch of them. And, you know, now if the trick doesn't work, it'll be your fault. Yeah. Well, anyway, magic words only work if there's a magician around, so they're not going to help you get through life. But if the boys and girls can learn to say please and thank you more often, those words will help you a lot more than abracadabra, hocus pocus, or fuzzy pickles. In fact, the last time I said fuzzy pickles at home, my wife had me clean the refrigerator. Yeah. So, I wish these cotton balls would please turn into a scarf, or else I don't have much of a trick. Oh, here we go, and here's a beautiful green scarf to give to my wife, and blue and purple and red and orange and whoa. Maybe she can wrap it around herself and wear it like a dress. There. I'd better pick up some cotton balls on the way home. Yeah. Oh, well. Well, I think it's time for another one of my puppet friends, and my next puppet friend, he's over here in this little black box. His name is Reese. There he is, fits right in there. Come on out, Reese. Yeah, say hello to the boys and girls. Oh my goodness. I found another gray hair. Found another gray hair. Oh my goodness. And not only that, Reese didn't handle the trip over here very well. Poor guy. Here's Reese's leg. Here's Reese's hair. Here's his arm. You know what I've got here, boys and girls? Reese's Pieces. How quickly the audience turns against the performer. All right. I'm going to do something that no ventriloquist is ever supposed to do. I'm going to put Reese together right in front of you so you can see how some of these puppets work, and you'll get to see how Reese is supposed to look if he wasn't all in pieces. Now I'm going to take out Reese's head. Okay? Just a ball on a stick. Down here there's a lever connected to a string, and if I pull on the lever, it pulls on the string, and this is what happens. His mouth opens and closes. Okay? But he doesn't talk. That's my job as a ventriloquist. I tighten up my tummy muscles, and when I talk for the puppet, I kind of talk out of my nose, try not to move my lips, and I keep the puppet moving so you look at the puppet and not at me. Yeah, hi there, good to see you. See how it works? All right, well anyway, I'm going to take out Reese's body. Now don't panic, I'm wearing a nice tuxedo. He's got one too. Here we go. I'm going to show you another big secret about these puppets no one's ever supposed to know. I'm going to turn him around. You see there's a big hole in his back. There's nothing in there. There's no CD players. There's no iPods. There's nothing electronic in there. He's hollow. He's cardboard. He's foam rubber and wood. And the reason why there's a big hole in his back is so I can reach in behind and operate the controls. Now, for him, the control is simply the stick to turn his head and the lever that I showed you earlier to make his mouth open and close. Dana, what? I can't see anything. Okay, I need an eye. Okay, we'll get you an eye. Now, he's just a simple puppet. We'll give him a little jiggle eye. You can get these at craft stores. There. Oh, there they are. Yeah, good-looking crowd. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Dana, what? I can only see half the kids. All right. Let me look. Looks like everybody here has two eyes, so we're going to give him another eye. So he looks just like all the boys and girls here in the audience today. Here we go. Dana, what? Why are they sitting sideways? They're not sitting sideways. Why don't they slide off the chairs? What are you talking about? Oh my goodness. That doesn't look right. No. See if I hold them like this? Yeah, that's good. Let me look. Everybody here has eyes that go this way. I don't see anybody that has eyes that go this way. So what we're going to do, we're going to take his eyes off. We're going to put them on again. He's a puppet. We can do this. So his eyes are side by side. So now he looks like everybody here. There. Dana, what? I had a teacher like this in school one year. You need to sit still. I need to pay attention. There. Okay. I need a nose. Nose. It's like everybody here has a nose. Okay. Well, this is pretty big, but I think it'll make a good nose. There. How's that? You can't do that. You're a puppet. Why can't I use a leg for a nose? Because my foot smells. Another thing you need are ears. What? Ears. Can't hear you. I need ears. Let's see. Somebody told me ears were handy things to have, so maybe these will make good ears. There's one. There's two. There. I look like an elephant. Oh, stop it. Okay, we're going to move the leg down here. I'm glad you found the leg. Why are you so glad I found your leg? I wouldn't have had a leg to stand on. But Reese, you're supposed to have two legs. What if I can't find your other leg? Then I'll be hopping mad. Look, Reese, I'm doing the best that I can. Now, seriously, how do you think I'm doing? Dana, what? You should have quit while I was ahead. All right. I still need a nose. Okay, hold on. We'll give you a nose. Don't put it there. You're a puppet. What difference does it make? If it rains, I'll drown. There we go. Now you look like a dog. Tell you what, Reese, we're going to move the arms down here like that. Okay. Now you still need ears. What'd you say? I said, never mind. Here we go. I'll give you one ear. I'll give you two ears. And I notice the boys and girls have something else that you don't. Hair. Well, yeah, hair. But big, squishy cheeks. Why? So they can ask why all the time. The reason why boys and girls have big, squishy cheeks is so they can smile for their parents, okay? And for their teachers at school. And they also make good handles for the grandparents to grab a hold of. Oh, you've grown so much since I saw you last. And then they give them those big, juicy kisses. That's disgusting. Anyway. So we're going to give you a couple of big cheeks. And finally, we're going to give you some hair. All right. There. Can I do something? Oh, the last few minutes, we've taught them how ventriloquism works. We've shown them how a puppet works. Please, all right. What do you do that's really different and unusual that they might enjoy? I can do bird calls. Bird calls. Yeah, you can sound like different kinds of birds. I sure can. Can I pick out the bird? Yeah, all right. How about a canary? Maybe they've had one as a pet. Can you sound like a canary? I can do that. Okay. Reese is going to sound like a canary. Go ahead. How many of you think it sounds like a canary? How many of you think it sounds like a cat? Yeah, I agree. Reese, that was a really good cat, but you said you do bird calls. I do. I asked for a canary. I know. Well, where's the canary? Inside the cat. Say goodbye to everyone, Reese. Yes, so long. All right. Would anybody like to help with a magic trick? Raise your hand. If you don't want to help, don't raise your hand. Oh, this is going to be tough. Oh, man. Okay, you want to come up here? Okay, come up here. Wish I could have you all up here, but then we wouldn't have an audience left. Stand here right on top of the trap door. Okay. Oh, no, there's no trap door. I'm just kidding. Okay, stand right over here. Right there, right underneath the bucket of water. No, I'm kidding. There's no bucket of water. Okay. And what's your name? Emily, good to have you with us, Emily. I'm Mr. Tricks. Good to see you today. Yeah, how many children do you have, Emily? Do you have any kids? No. No? Okay. How many years have you been married? You're not married? I'm sorry. How old are you, Emily?
7.
Oh, 7. I feel so stupid. You're 7. I'm asking you if you got kids. I'm asking you if you're married. 7. Really? You know, when I was your age, I was only 5. Anyway, this is a big magic trick because it uses someone from the audience. Many magicians use a big magic wand, okay? I don't believe in magic wands, but I do believe in having clean helpers. Emily's looking a little dusty today. There we go. Okay, a little dusty myself from the trip over. Oh, sorry, I'm ticklish, Emily. There. This is a glass. It's actually made out of plastic. I want you to examine it closely. Go ahead and take it. Yeah, look at it inside and out. While Emily's looking at that, I have a few other things I'm going to do with this trick. I have some handkerchiefs, and I've got two blue ones and a multicolored one so you can tell it from the blue ones. Okay? And what we're going to do here, Emily, is I'm going to take handkerchiefs and tie them together like this, and we're going to put them into the glass that you are holding. Okay, you ready? Okay, hold the glass steady. Hold the glass steady. Okay, hold the glass steady. All right, here we go. We'll tuck them in there. Now, sometimes the handkerchiefs like to pop back out. So once I get that in there, put your other hand, one of your hands on top like that so they don't pop out. And another thing I'm going to use is this cloth bag. Now, my boys, when they were your age, they used to play marbles. I don't know if kids play marbles anymore, but they used to keep them in the bag. Okay, you've played marbles? Okay. And I didn't need the marbles for the trick, so I dumped them out all over the kitchen floor before I came here today. So my wife was screaming something as I was pulling out of the driveway, but I'm sure she's fine. Anyway, The whole idea, boys and girls, is to make the colored handkerchief go from the bag that I'm holding into the glass that she's holding. And you should see it appear in there while she keeps her hand over it. Here we go. Now, boys and girls, you have your choice. Do you want to see the handkerchief rise up out of the bag and float mysteriously through the air? Or do you want it to go quickly, instantly, and invisibly? You want to see it go. All right, okay, here we go. I wave my hand, Emily. I say the magic word, fuzzy pickles. And right before your astonished eyes, the handkerchief rises out of the bag, floats mysteriously through the air to the glass that What's the matter?
You're holding it.
Well, of course I'm holding it. How'd you think it was going to get there? All right, quickly, instantly, and invisibly. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Nothing happened, Emily. Let me look. Still in the bag. 1, 2, 3, fuzzy pickles. Okay, if I could actually get the handkerchief from here into there, would that be worthy of loud applause, screaming, and foot stomping?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, please go into the glass. Huh, I don't get it. I don't see it in the glass, but move your hand there. Let me take a look. Watch me like a hawk, Emily. Woo. You don't look very impressed, Emily. Tied right in there. Wow. How many of you would like to know how I did that? Like to know how I did it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you how I did it. Very well, I thought. Yeah. Can you keep it secret? Yeah? So can I. Yeah. Emily, don't go anywhere. I want to give you a little souvenir for helping out. Would you like to take home a live bunny rabbit? Yeah? You know why I asked that? So I wanted to see the look of horror and astonishment on the adults' faces, okay? Now, I said at the beginning of the show, I don't have live animals in the show because I don't like to get in trouble. How many of you have ever been in trouble before? Yeah, all right. You ever been in trouble before? No. All right, she's in trouble now. Anyway, all right. Okay, we'll take your word for it. If you want to know how to stay out of trouble, get permission from your parents first. Now, I didn't get permission to give you a live rabbit, and I don't like to get in trouble either. But I'll give you a rabbit made out of newspaper. It's not as fun as a live rabbit, but it will never bite you. You don't have to feed it. They pack flat for traveling, and you don't have to clean up after them with a snow shovel. Now, to save time, many magicians would use skizzers. I pronounce it skizzers because that's the way the word is spelled. But to save time, I'm going to use these. These are trizzers. Okay? And to save even more time, I'm only going to cut a half a newspaper rabbit. Here we go. By the way, they work really hard at keeping the TV studio clean. So when you leave, boys and girls, after the show, make sure you don't leave any trash laying around because the producer gets really upset. People leave little pieces of paper laying around on the floor and stuff. And I'd like to be invited back sometime. So I'm always very careful not to make any kind of a mess whenever I do a show. There we go. Here we go. What's that? I'm making a mess? Yeah? Someday you'll be married to some real lucky guy. All right, anyway, here we go. Here's a I'll pick it up later. Here's a newspaper rabbit for you, Emily. Now, do you have any brothers or sisters?
One sister.
One sister. So if I give you a rabbit, she might get a little jealous, maybe. Okay, how about 2 rabbits? One for you, one for her? You probably have friends. Yeah. So, tell you what, whenever you have 2 rabbits, it's not long before you have more rabbits. And Emily did such a good job today, I think we're going to give Emily the whole family of rabbits. How's that? Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Go ahead and sit back down. Yeah. All right. Let's see if I can find another puppet friend here. Yeah, licky, licky, licky. Look at what, Daisy? Look at all these good-looking guys. Good-looking guys, I thought you already had a boyfriend. Yeah, I do. No, you gave your boyfriend kind of a funny nickname. Yeah, I know. What do you call your boyfriend? Candy bar. Candy bar. Why do you call your boyfriend Candy Bar? Huh? That's a weird name because he's half sweet and he's half nuts. Yeah, right. By the way, did you enjoy the trip over here, Daisy? Yeah, sure did. Did you see anything interesting the children would like to hear about? I saw the neatest thing. What's that? A whole bunch of cows. A whole bunch of, oh, don't wink at the boys. All right. A whole bunch of cows. Yeah, these kids are old enough to know that when you have a bunch of cows, it's not called a bunch of cows. What is it? Herd of cows. Of course I've heard of cows. I know you've heard of cows, okay? You call it a bunch of cows, and that's not what it's called. What is it? Cow herd. Huh? Cow herd. I don't care what the cow herd. I didn't say nothing wrong. Listen, Daisy, you're making jokes about cows here, and I'm trying to show to the audience that you're no dummy. No, I'm a living doll. Yeah, right. We're not going to go there with that one. Anyway, okay, I want to show the kids how smart you are, so we're going to have you spell a word. Is it difficult? No, we don't want to embarrass you. So what we're going to have you do is we're going to have you spell the word farm. Farm? Yeah, can you spell the word farm? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, Daisy's going to spell the word farm. Go ahead. E-I-E-I-O. It's not how you spell the word farm, and I can do it backwards. You can spell the word farm backwards? Yeah, I'd like to see that. All right. Daisy's going to spell the word farm backwards. E-I-E-I-O. Ah. Ow, ow, I didn't know you could do that. Do what? Turn your head all the way around like that. Can't you do that? No, I can't turn my head all the way around like that. That's funny. I thought any dummy could. Listen, Daisy, we need to finish up with you because I got another puppet friend to bring out here to finish the show. We're going to talk about this later. It's been good having you with us, okay? Yeah, we'll see you later. You too there, you good-looking guys. All right, I got one more puppet friend to bring out here. He's a little cute little guy over here. His name is Pee-wee. Yeah. We'll see if we can find the little rascal over here. Hi there, how you doing? Look at the cute chicks. Chicks. You shouldn't call girls chicks. It's very inappropriate. I'm a bird. Yeah. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Yeah. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to close the show. I'm going to tell the audience a riddle. What? A riddle. I'm going to tell the audience a riddle. Pee-wee, why are you looking over there? There's nothing going on over there. There's nothing going on out here either. Come on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them the riddle, the question. I don't expect them to answer because they're here to have a good time, but you need to play along with a joke. What do I do? When I ask them the question, you say, I give up. What is it? I give up. What is it? Okay, can you do that? No. Repeat after me. I give up. What is it? I give up. What is it? What is it? I think he's got it. I give up. What is it? Okay, wait till it's your turn, though. I give up. I can't do this. You don't like this like that. It's getting hard to breathe. You going to behave yourself? Okay. I give up. Here we go. Here's the riddle. You know what to do. What does an elephant have that no other animal has? And you say, little elephants. You said little elephants. I know. You weren't supposed to say that. Why not? Because most people think a trunk or tusks, and little elephants is the punchline, and I'm supposed to say that, okay? You were supposed to say, I give up. What is it? Then why didn't you say that? Because I already knew the joke. Of course you knew the joke. How do you know? Because I'm the ventriloquist. So you're the puppet. Without me, you couldn't even talk. Without me, you couldn't eat. Yeah, right. Anyway, Okay, can't you remember what you're supposed to say? Can you, yes, I have an excellent memory. I can remember when I was in high school, really. I can remember when I was their age, you're kidding. I can remember when I was in preschool. Whoa, I can't remember all the way back, but kids that tell me I was born in the hospital, my father was in the waiting room waiting to see me. The nurse says, you know, come on in and see your new baby son. That would be me. So my dad came in to look at me for the very first time. I was a little tiny baby in a crib, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as my father looked at my face for the very first time, my father looked at my face and he said, I get up. What is it? Well, kids, now we know who the dummy is. All right, look. Our time's up. We need to put you back in the box. Can I say something? You said plenty. What do you want to say? I'd like to say that Dana's a good ventriloquist. Thank you. Okay, into the box. And what? I'd like to say that Dana's really handsome. Thank you. Okay, into the box. And what? I'd like to say that he's a snazzy dresser. Thank you. I'd like to say those nice things, but I'm not that big a liar. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye. There, you all have a good time? Yeah! All right, great. Thank you.
Have a nice week, and love ZAFFIE.